Okay, I call the meeting to order. Because we'll start with a pledge of allegiance. Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. All right, we'll start out. We missed last week because Paul was on vacation. Welcome back. I was gonna put on the music, welcome back, Carter, but I figured I'd leave it alone tonight.
You missed your phone, just kidding.
Okay, the adoption of tonight's agenda. Do I hear a motion to adopt tonight's agenda?
I'll make a motion to adopt tonight's agenda for July 17th.
Do I hear any comments or questions from the board? All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carried. Approval of minutes of 6/26/23. Have time to read the minutes. Right here, motion to approve the minutes with an amendment, maybe?
With typo.
With a typo?
Make a motion to adopt the minutes. Typo corrected.
Any comments or questions by the board? All in favor? Any opposed? Motion carried. We'll be right back with the full report.
It's typo corrected.
Yeah. We probably talked about it. That's all right. You're up.
Oh, okay. A couple weeks ago, 6/27, we started preparing for upcoming MRGP work. We met up on that, and we still have a little bit more planning to do for that, but we'll get into that shortly. 6/27, we also had a tree down in Hampshire Hollow at the Clark Road intersection. 6/28, we started brush and tree clearing on Watkins Hill Road. 6/29, reviewed some past, present, and future projects with Paul. We went out and took a ride, bird's eye and stuff like that, so get some eyes on that other than just us from the highway department. We also met up with Brian Filskov the following day to go over the Watkins Hill Culvert project. On 7/3, we did some East Poultney preparation for the parade. 7/5, we added gravel to Finnell Hollow, Watkins, Ward, Griffin, and Gorhamtown roads. 7/7, we had a tree down on Morse Hollow and Hampshire Hollow. 7/10, we all went out and checked our routes. I believe that was after the major part of the storm that crippled the majority of Vermont, or the good portion of Vermont, right? 7/11, Jeff and I went out and we took a look at some of our troubled roads and checked the status on them and everything. And then the entire highway department mobilized and went to Mount Holly to help with disaster relief for the following, for Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday of last week. Who were very grateful and thanked us and thanked the Selectboard and all of the administrative side for allowing us to do that. And it was pretty eye-opening. Who also, Mount Holly has a magnificent town garage that would be a good place to go and get some good pictures for our upcoming planning of our replacement.
And you have some pictures you'll bring back and share with us about that.
I have pictures. I have stuff on the phone, and so if anybody wants to see some eye-opening stuff, I'll share it. 7/13, that would be last Thursday. That was our final day at Mount Holly. We worked about a half a day and we hurried up to get back here because we had a storm coming in and we want to make sure we could take care of our own town. On the way back, I got a phone call that there was a nasty wash up on Bird's Eye Road. So we stopped. That was actually great timing because we already had the excavator and everything on board, and we were able to knock that out of the park and get it done and over without making a special trip. Also, just by the way, with Mount Holly, we did not pay for any of the aggregate that was used there. The only thing, obviously, is our time of our guys, and a little bit of wear and tear on our equipment that we used. And then estimate. This is just a rough estimate. I'll actually have hard numbers, but we in the 2.5 days, we were there for 3 days, but if you add all the time together, it totals out to be about 2.5 days. In that time, with 2 tandems and a 6-wheeler running, we were able to haul about 40 loads of material to get people going. And the first road that we did was completely cut off. Dick did we had a 5-foot squash tube there. And it was washed, 8 feet probably on both sides of it.
Yeah,
So we had
to it to straighten it to keep filling.
Yeah. And it was, we got up to it and we were kind of like, we might be over our heads with it, even with our equipment, but we
did it.
You did a fantastic job with the excavator. I mean, you made it look good and just got it done in a timely manner. On that road, he was able to gain access in less than a day to get 17 residents that were cut off from society back in touch with everything. So I just, sometimes people like to hear, what did you accomplish out of that, or whatever, and that's a pretty significant accomplishment as far as I'm concerned. So back to us, 713, we took care of that on Bird's Eye and everything came back. And then that night we had our little storm that hit here pretty decent. It was short-lived and fast, but it hit hard. So we went out, we checked all of our routes, and I think everybody had trees or brush down on every single road, if not multiple places on every single road. We got that passable. It took till about the last thing we were able to do is get Lewis Road opened up just at the Gorhamtown Road intersection about 2 o'clock in the morning. So everything was passable, pretty quickly. Anyways, one of our trucks, the Chevy, broke down. We were able to leave it in place and wait till we had some daylight to do that. And we went and got that. And that would have been last Friday morning. And then as far as today goes, we went out, we cleaned up the remainder of the brush that we left on the sides of the roads. We just go out and we make a beaten path so that people can safely get through and stuff. And then, do the fine tuning in the daylight and when everybody's got fresh batteries, basically. So we went through and we cleaned up a lot of that today. We got a little bit more to do, but we also started hauling material to Lewis Road, and we're going to go back for round 2 or 3, depending on some roads, for grading and getting our gravel roads back in good shape, adding some good material. And
Lewis Road is getting bad again.
it is. It certainly is. So that is a quick summary of what has gone on. If anybody has any questions.
So what about, I was just curious about the fuel that you guys use for Mount Holly.
So Vermont State has a mutual aid program for municipalities. I have the form. I have to fill it out. There's a FEMA list that says what every piece of equipment that you use is worth per hour. So that'll all be submitted. I already had all the guys separate all their hours as far as Poultney town work and Mount Holly town work. And we'll go through and we'll do all that. We'll submit the request for reimbursement, and
Nice to know if it happens to us that they'll reciprocate, so it's nice that we went and did that, so.
Yes.
yeah,
We know if we
exactly.
call them, they'll come help us out.
And they reiterated that multiple times while we were out there, that you guys ever need something, we'll be there. Just say the word. So
As part of that mutual aid
Oh,
agreement
yeah.
yeah.
that this board signed a number of years ago.
Were there any other towns that were there?
In Mount Holly, not that I'm sure of. They had a lot of their town contractors and friends that had heavy equipment or anything helped out. Obviously, they were getting the majority of the material was coming in from Casellas with trailer trucks, but we were applying it faster than they could do. So, we actually decided to have one of our tandems make the long haul to the West Rutland Casella quarry and do that while the 6-wheeler and the other tandem stayed local and kept drawing right out of Mount Holly's stockpile, basically. We just, it was jump into the mix of an absolute disaster and chaotic situation and find out what's the best way to be the most productive. And, and that worked extremely well.
Now, did you work with them and say, look, you guys do this road, we'll do this road, or did you kind of do your own thing or stepped in?
So their emergency management coordinator or emergency operations, whatever the proper title is for Mount Holly, is also on the select board, and he gave me a list of the roads, told us where he wanted to start. That was at that 5-foot culvert, because that cut off those 17 people or whatever that were further up the road. And then they said, yeah, and once you guys get that squared away and passable, I'll have you jump over to this road and do that. And yeah, when we got there, 75% of the roads were unpassable. And day 3, they were in good shape except for one road that needed very extensive work.
How many bridges? How many bridges?
Actually needed work.
Yeah.
Well, we had a wash that went down one bridge, and then we had that culvert, which was almost bridge size.
Trying to turn the water as it's coming was a little difficult.
Yeah, as the water, with that type of a rainfall event, the water erodes a new path, and it typically the new eroded path becomes the permanent path until you redirect it, because it has a much stronger erosion than your standard culvert or
It gets big.
yeah, exactly. So you're fighting Mother Nature to put it back where you want it versus where she wants it.
Hopefully these towns will rebuild in a next level capacity.
Yeah.
It's happened to Ludlow before, so it's crazy.
You'll increase the size of the culverts.
The culverts, huh?
I also, with that being said, with the whole Mount Holly thing, I think it was also good for us on another level, because we got to see what we should do to be prepared in the event that something like that happens in Poultney. We have a pretty good idea of how we would prioritize, what we would request, and how we need to study. Yeah, it kind of was. And, it was a drill that nobody wanted, but lessons were learned. So, yeah.
Before they went down, we went and made sure that our roads were in really good shape before they left, because we figured it'd be a day or two. And instead of going to Ludlow, they went to Mount Holly, because everybody and their brother was in Ludlow.
Yeah, and I believe day 1, Ludlow was still inaccessible from 103.
Yeah.
So,
That was a very, very good thing you guys did.
Yeah,
Thank you very much for that.
you're welcome.
Because there will come a day when we will have a catastrophic event and we will need help.
People are really, really nice.
Yeah.
I mean, coming out and thanking us, crying, and everything else for opening, getting them out.
Yeah. That was a catastrophic event through the center of the state.
It gets a little emotional when they come out crying, and it's
No matter what age.
yeah. It's
Sweet.
It was unbelievable.
I can't wait to see the pictures. Yeah,
You
nice,
did a very good thing.
nice. Thank you guys.
you're welcome.
Michelle?
Can I make a comment?
Yeah.
Well, I'm just a resident, but I wanted to thank you, Joel, and your team for doing that and for being so effective, with the immediacy of protecting us and now. All that is appreciated, but also I'm grateful.
Thank you.
All right. Anybody have any more questions for Joel? Or-
Oh, it looked like we fared pretty good. I was amazed for our road and stuff that everything looked pretty good. It's like,
We did pretty well.
We only got 4.5 inches.
We had some washes, and we made sure we checked our known trouble or easy to become a troubled area before we headed out every morning.
Mhm.
And one morning we actually had two of the guys hung back for a little bit and fixed the spot on Highland Gray and a couple other areas.
Yeah.
Like I said, we gotta protect ourselves first before we can't rob Peter to pay Paul, so.
Good.
That's where they were last week. Okay,
Thank you.
thank you,
Absolutely.
thank you.
Thanks.
You don't have to hang around. though.
Okay,
You don't
if there's
want-
anything else that applies to the highway department, I'll stay. If not, then have a great evening.
Have a good night.
Yeah, please thank for the beautiful flowers.
Oh, I should thank the village. They were helpful and
Yeah,
they covered anything. They covered anything for us in case we had a tree come down or needed anything. So, yeah,
We had Alan, we
it
were
was great.
We had Alan. We're not worried.
They know what they're doing.
That's good. Thank
One
you.
hand washes the other.
Yep.
Yeah. Have a great night, everyone.
All right.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, gentlemen.
You're welcome.
Have a good night.
You don't.
On to the town manager's report.
Betsy Westcott gave me an application liquor license for outdoor consumption for Wellback Vineyard. It's their one they get every year. It's not for a special event. So if anyone wants to make a motion to approve that.
I would make a motion to approve that Wellback Vineyard.
Mayor's second.
1 second.
Any comments or questions by the board? All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carried. We'll sign that.
Since I was away last week, I don't have much. There is 2 items, contractual discussions that we have to do in executive session when we get to that point. But I just was busy playing catch up today, so
Playing catch up. Well, I was at the senior center today and you know how the water always comes down into the building right before you go up the ramp?
Yeah.
There was a lot of water that we've had lately, and that is becoming a problem. We're gonna really need to look at solving that, or we're gonna end up probably with another thing like we had at Hunt. You know, we put a lot of money into the kitchen floor. We might want to become a little proactive and start looking at maybe trying to run that water off of that part of the building.
So where,
Seeing as how we own it.
So at the bottom of the ramp, because you can't even get up the ramp. It's so,
I do remember Shirley bringing this up when they were doing that work
yeah.
with
Why
the
didn't we do
pavilion
it at the
and
same time?
Mhm.
It's bad. I've been there many times. It's bad. You can't
We have to address that because it's going in that little window that they got
Yeah.
plywood on. That's right there with it.
It's
And it's
icy.
starting to get down inside the thrift shop, and then we're gonna be dealing with a mold situation and then structure situation. But that's something we have to get looked at, I would say, in the immediate future.
Does it matter sealing the window up good with the?
Maybe for now, that would prevent it to go in, but
It's
we need
dangerous.
somebody to look at it.
In wintertime, it's icy.
But it's just dangerous to people to walk when they're going to walk in to go to Boneville or something. You have a puddle of water. I wouldn't trust that they could slip on something if there's even yucky out there. I mean, it's really,
It's a mud
it's
mud
not.
catcher too.
And it doesn't take a lot of water for it to build up to a big puddle. It takes a long time to dry out.
Does.
Yeah.
Well, maybe somebody has a quick fix. I mean, we just,
Someone to look at it.
instead of, sitting here saying what we should do,
Right.
if we had a contractor look at it, maybe we can figure something out that'll
Right.
be the right way to get it done. But that's something that needs to be addressed. It is. But that's what I saw down there. And is that it? Because you've been gone for a whole week on vacation.
yeah. Other than the 2 executive session things, that's all I have.
Okay. Anybody have any questions for Paul? Rutland Regional Planning Commission. I don't know if
There's on there.
she's not on. We'll check on that next Monday night. Because next Monday we have another board meeting. Okay, into public comments and concerns. Do we have anybody?
I have a question. During the last meeting in June, there was talk of another community meeting, on the crime issues in town. And I know, Jeff, you had attended one of them, that I think Ben Worthing is putting on.
Right,
Yeah,
he's the one putting that on.
And there's one supposed to be held, tomorrow night, on the GMC campus. Are any members of the select board planning on attending that?
Well, I'm gonna be there, yes.
Where on GMC is it going to be? Do you know?
Whitney Hall,
Whitney.
and it's in the conference room. It's at 4:00 tomorrow night.
Yeah.
Ben, I think, sent out invitations. But, yes, those meetings, I will be attending very soon.
Okay. Because that'd be great to get reports from you too, as to.
Yeah, well, like I say, last time we just got there and just started recognizing some of the problems, but
Yeah.
no direction set yet.
Yep.
But
No, that's
we will continue to work on it.
Okay, and then another thing that I brought up at the last meeting and you had gone into executive session on, any update on improving law enforcement coverage in town?
We haven't
Is there anything that
started,
you can,
we haven't started even talking about that yet, but that is something we have decided that we are going to talk about. And going back to that, there's one young man that has been in a little bit of mischief through town. And he actually came to our football practice last week. And I'm glad he's trying to join our family. And the kid has some serious talent. I hope he stays in this direction.
Hope you can harness them.
it's a good direction.
It would be a very good direction. But, so, anything else?
That's it, thank you.
No hands up there. Anybody else got anything? No, that's it. Then at this time, we gotta go into executive session for contractual issues. I guess that's the quickest meeting I think I've ever had. Going on 16 years.
Pursuant to 1 VSA Section 313A1, I make a motion that this board finds that premature general public knowledge would clearly place this board or a person involved at substantial disadvantage if certain matters related to the contracts were discussed outside of an executive session. Pursuant to 1 VSA Section 313A1A, I make a motion to enter into executive session to discuss contract matters.
Second, any comments or questions by the board? All in favor? Motion carried. We'll go into executive session.